What's up, everybody? Here I am. What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Drive. My name is Mario Smith. You are watching us live from the third largest city in the United States, Chicago, Illinois, and we are really glad that you are here with us today, here on Backchannel.tv. Thank you so much, my pal Hal, and all of our Backchannel homies. You're a passenger on The Drive. How do you feel? Congratulations, you made it. Joining me in Portland, Oregon, in the Fortress of Solitude is my man Jay Gliss. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just saw an email that almost made me throw up. So that happened. You know what? The worst thing that can happen is seconds before something you're getting ready to do, somebody either calls you or sends you an email. Because you're like, this could have waited. But no, it couldn't, because it had to have been sent right then. And it's just like, wow. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with it. There's a major snowstorm that is about to affect the United States. Not all of it, but 82 million people are in its path. Why don't you just say everybody instead of just narrowing it down to only 82 million? But right now in Chicago, it's like 45 degrees or something. But we're expecting 5 to 11 inches of snow. It's raining right now as well. We're expecting 5 to 11 inches of snow. Let me see here. Hold on. It's 40. And I'm looking at my little weather station on my phone. It's about to go down. In the words of the great Kevin Hart, it's about to go down. It's really about to get bad. And I was trying to buy groceries in my store downstairs that I can't say the name of because it will reflect badly upon the parent company. But this woman went into a tirade about her phone and they had to call the cops. So groceries were suspended. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do tomorrow.
What did they have to do with their phone? Or did they sell phones there?
She lost her phone and accused everybody in the store of picking it up. I, of course, was praying my phone didn't ring because then she would have thought it was my phone or her phone. And then we would have had a whole nother issue and I'd have gotten here on time. I was
it's always a thing when you see adults behaving like that. I actually had that experience over the summer when I upgraded my current phone.
Mm-hmm.
A similar type of thing, but a guy ended up throwing his phone across the room and throwing a bunch of papers and yelling at the people inside the store.
Nice.
Because he felt like he shouldn't have to wait in line because his thing was going to take quicker than the people that were already being helped. So that's how you act like an adult, right?
I guess that sounds like a Karen.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what he was.
Would he be Ken? We gotta think of a better name. I tend to call male Karens Todd. I don't know if that's appropriate because there's some really cool Todds I know. I'm thinking of another one. I did have a name.
I'm sure there's some good Karens too. So I mean, it's like,
Yeah. It wasn't Kiefer. It was symbolic. Like Chad or something. I'll think about it. By the way, everybody that's watching us on the chat today, hey, if you're watching or listening to us on your Amazon supported device, we appreciate you. Thanks for being here on The Drive. You are now a passenger on The Drive. Deborah in California, Verona in New Hampshire, Daryl in Maryland, Bella in Northern Virginia, Milo in your part of the world, Oregon, J-Lo's in New York, Cole in South Carolina, and Alex in what says Diego. I imagine that's San Diego. We all know what San Diego is. We don't have to say that on the show. If you're joining us here on Backchannel, please make sure you check out our whole day of programming. It begins at 6 a.m. Eastern with Haley and Allison. And then from 8 to 10 Eastern, my buddy Liv Harrison, who I need to do a better job of communicating with. She reached out and was so friendly, and I feel like a schmuck that I haven't been nicer. Jam and Renee, where you were this morning, Gliss. They come on at 10 Eastern. Sir Anthony Davis at noon Eastern time, and then my pal Hal at 2, bringing you into The Drive. How was your experience this morning with Jam and Renee? How are they? Are they good? Everybody's cool?
Yeah, they're good. They're good now. I think they had a slight hiatus, but they're all back in and ready to go, and they got
Right
a,
on.
a new producer to help them out, and
I
yeah, it was
believe
a fun
that's
experience.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah will be
Sarah.
joining them.
Yeah, Sarah.
What's up, Sarah? I know. I know. We wasn't expecting that today, were you? Neither was I. Welcome to the Back Channel family. Um, so yeah, news all around, man. This snowstorm is real. It is coming hard onto the Midwest. It's going to start out as rain. I'm looking at my my weather here. We're expecting 7 to 11 inches of snow. That will be more in the morning. There's going to be a big snowstorm overnight, and then it'll hit again around 7:30 a.m. Central. And 82 million people are under winter weather alerts from Colorado to Vermont. This is insane. So this is 2 weeks in a row of major weather issues. About 82 million Americans woke up today to winter weather alerts and the threat of rain, snow, sleet, and ice. Everything the postman loves, wreaking havoc from Colorado to Vermont in coming days. This latest winter storm will be a slow moving blast impacting a massive swath of America, east from the Rockies to the I 95 corridor in New England from now through Friday. Governor Greg Abbott on Tuesday warned Texans about potential power losses and impassable roads this week due to winter weather. The Lone Star State suffered catastrophic power losses a year ago due to a winter storm. Snow should begin to fall in the Denver area this afternoon and dump up to 7 inches by tomorrow evening. Kansas City is gearing up for snowfall that should begin tomorrow evening and go for nearly 2 full days and dump between 5 and 9 inches on the western edge of Missouri. It's expected to snow throughout Wednesday night and most of Thursday in St. Louis, possibly dumping between 9 inches and a foot. Whew. Tuesday rain is expected to turn to snow in Detroit on Wednesday morning, continuing through Thursday with 9 to 15 inches possibly falling on southeast Michigan. Rain is set to fall and is falling right now in Chicago, and that will take place. It's taking place before our region is pummeled with snow at sunrise Wednesday and continuing all day. About 6 to 8 inches of snow is expected to hit Chicago, with heavier totals forecast for suburbs south of the city. Residents in Vermont are going to enjoy a relatively mild Tuesday, with the high temperature reaching the low 30s by the afternoon. But that respite will soon be overtaken by a major storm on Thursday that could dump a foot of snow by Friday. New England just got over a massive snowstorm this past weekend, and the region is bracing again for more potential snow later this week. Whatever you do, make sure your elderly folks are cool and don't be like me. I would get my groceries if I were you. If I could, I'd get them now. Get your groceries. An active shooter situation prompts shelter in place order at a Virginia college. In a series of tweets, Bridgewater College, about 140 miles west of Virginia, west of Virginia, west of Washington, D.C., issued the warning shortly before 1:30 this afternoon. Reports of active shooter on campus, shelter in place. A minute later, the school tweeted, "This is not a test." Shortly after 2 p.m. Eastern, the college said an individual was in custody, but they continue to urge people to shelter in place. Around 2:35, the school said, for additional safety purposes, law enforcement officials will be moving through buildings. Do not be alarmed. Listen to officers' instructions. Governor Glenn Youngkin said, quote, I have been briefed on the situation at Bridgewater College. The shooter is in custody and state and local police are on the scene. I will continue to monitor the situation in conjunction with law enforcement, and we will do the same. The more we hear, whatever we happen to hear, we will let you know as soon as possible. And finally, our headline, Tom Brady, after much consternation and hand wringing and making you wait forever for it, finally announced his retirement this morning via Instagram, which did not mention the New England Patriots in his farewell, but thanked Tampa Bay fans and was hoping to be invited to the boat parade again next year. You care about that boat parade, Bliss? At all?
No, I'm good. No.
I'm cool. I'm straight. Thanks. When we come back, we will have... Here we go. When we come back, we will take a look at what's going on around the world. It's The Drive with Mario Smith here on Backchannel.tv and on YouTube. Thank you so much. And your Amazon supported devices. Thank you so much for checking us out today on Tuesday. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on the drive. Off is joining us for the first time from Jersey. What's up, Off? Charles has joined the stream. Thank you so much. Alex is here first time. What's up, Alex? Austin has also joined us along with our regular folks. Alex is in Kansas. Be careful, bro. It's about to snow. I'm just saying. I'm not a weatherman, but I'm telling you, it's about to go. It's about to go down. Here's what's happening around the world. A judge has rejected a federal hate crimes plea deal for at least one of Ahmaud Arbery's killers. A federal judge in Georgia rejected a deal Monday between federal prosecutors and at least one of the men who killed Ahmaud Arbery after the victim's family objected to the plea bargain. Prosecutors in the federal hate crime case filed papers Sunday striking deals with Travis and Gregory McMichael, whose prison sentences would run concurrently. But Arbery's family balked at the deals, particularly an agreement allowing the men to serve their hate crime sentences first in a federal penitentiary. Quote, please listen to me, Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, told the court. Granting these men their preferred conditions of confinement gives them one last chance to spit in my face after murdering my son, close quote. Both of his parents and other loved ones begged the judge to void the deal. Quote, do the right thing. There's too much racism going on, close quote, Aunt Ruby Arbery said in court. Quote, I'm asking you, Judge, please look out for the Arbery and Cooper family, close quote. After hearing Arbery's parents speak against the deal, U.S. District Judge Lisa Wood said she didn't have enough information to approve it Monday and had no choice but to reject it. Quote, it is my decision to reject the plea agreement, close quote, she said after she was presented with Travis McMichael's plea bargain. In this case, it is appropriate to hear at sentencing from all concerned, including the victim's family, close quote. Wood said she didn't know whether 30 years in federal prison was an appropriate sentence. Quote, I can't say that 360 months is a precise, fair sentence in this case, close quote. It could be more, it could be less, it could be that. But given the unique circumstances of this case and my desire to hear from all concerned regarding the sentencing before I pronounce sentence, I am not comfortable accepting the terms of this plea agreement, close quote. Prosecutor Tara Lyons said she had been led to believe the family supported the plea bargains. Quote, prior to the signing and execution of those plea agreements, the attorneys for the victim's father, Marcus Arbery, and mother, Miss Wanda Cooper Jones, told the Department of Justice that the parents would not oppose a plea agreement, close quote, Lyons told the judge. Quote, on Sunday, yesterday, after several meetings, several video conferences, it was apparent that that was not accurate, close quote. Lyons added, quote, I'm not up here blaming the family, Your Honor, close quote. But that's exactly what she was doing. She thought that they had a plea. What would make a person, a lawyer, think that a plea agreement would be sufficient after the way that this young man was murdered? Something's wrong with that. Listen, I don't anticipate anything bad happening to me. I don't. But in the event that it does, you better be damn sure. And whoever did it, they meant it. And you make sure everybody prosecutes to the fullest extent and no plea agreement. There's no agreement. There's no agreement. What I agree that you should be in jail until you're dead. That's the agreement.
Yeah, I mean, what a slap in the face. I don't know. Like, is it arrogance or they're just that disconnected that they still don't, after being sentenced to life in prison, still don't understand the gravity of what they did?
They don't. They can't.
It's pretty shocking.
And not to mention the lawyers are pretty brazen too, because if you're telling me that the best you can do is try to say, well, the family said they originally agreed to it, that's disingenuous. And that makes me wonder about you as a lawyer. And why would you even want to agree to that? If you're their lawyer, you're like, dude, we're not about to try to present a plea agreement to this family for their loved ones, his friends, and the fact that you guys killed him. And it's obvious because your boy took video of it. You know what I'm saying? It would be different if there was no video, right? Because then it's a lot of hearsay. Oh, well, he was this, he was that, blah, blah, blah. And they would have still probably been found guilty. But the fact that he had on his phone the murder, come on, man.
It's chilling too. I mean, they literally hunted him down because It's another one of the it's so unfortunate when you see these kind of cases in particular. I think about Trayvon Martin as well, where it's like whatever argument you want to make about defense or whatever, the fact of the matter is that those people made a decision in that moment that they didn't have to make to pursue this person. Yeah, and it's the same thing with George Zimmerman. You could have, they told him to stay in his car. Like, just let the authorities deal with it in a situation like this, because it can escalate so quickly. And you know, a lot of times someone might lose their life when you approach a situation like that. You're not a hero. Just stand back and wait till the authorities get there. What's the worst thing that could have happened, even if the guy was stealing something?
Right.
You know, what would have happened? They would have found him 15 minutes later
with whatever it was he stole.
Right. And that would have been it. And I mean, it's just
the mere fact that they did what they did, the mere fact that they did what they did, and the mere fact that they would try to pull this. And I know the two aren't correlated because they're trying to get out of jail, or at least trying to make their sentence lesser. Today's the first day of Black History Month. If that would have happened today, that judge would have been like, yeah, it's cool. Y'all havoc. All day havoc. That is absolutely ridiculous. But not surprising, because to follow that story up, more than a dozen historically Black colleges and universities received bomb threats today. We just talked about this yesterday. The first day of Black History Month. Howard University was among the first to issue a shelter-in-place order early today, just a day after the school and several other historically Black colleges and universities received similar threats. A bomb threat against the university is being investigated, an alert from Howard University said, according to NBC Washington. All persons on campus are advised to shelter in place until more information is available. The emergency alert was timestamped at 3:29 a.m. Tuesday. An all clear was later issued for Howard following a probe. The university did not immediately respond to a request for comment from NBC News. Here are the universities that have been affected. Howard, the University of the District of Columbia, also in Washington, D.C., Morgan State University and Coppin State University in Baltimore, Fort Valley State University in Fort Valley, Georgia, Kentucky State University in Frankfort, Kentucky, Xavier University of Louisiana in New Orleans, Edward Waters University in Jacksonville, Florida, Alcorn State University in Lorman, Mississippi, Mississippi Valley State University in Itabana, Mississippi, Rust College in Holly Springs, Mississippi. I'm sorry, in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Yes, Holly Springs, Mississippi. Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi, and Tougaloo College in Tougaloo, Mississippi. All reported bomb threats, according to school officials and social media posts. Like Howard, Kentucky State, Jackson State, the University of District of Columbia, Tougaloo, and Coppin State issued all clear alerts after finding the threats to be unsubstantiated soon after reporting the threats. Additional threats were reported at a number of colleges and universities. NBC News at this hour has not confirmed those reports. Now, the FBI is working to address potential threats. In the wake of earlier bomb threats this month, the FBI said it would investigate the matter. In statements released on Monday and Tuesday, it said it was taking action after the latest string of threats. The FBI is aware of the series of bomb threats around the country, and we are working with our law enforcement partners to address any potential threats. Yeah, but see, there's no. It has to be more than address them. It has to be, let's do something about it. If you can tell me where I was off of my telephone, you should be able to find out who is making bomb threats to colleges and universities, particularly historically Black colleges and universities. Not to say that you're not on your job, FBI, but get on your job. Surveillance is everywhere in the United States of America. Everywhere. They can see everything. Why can't you tell me who did this? I'm so glad I don't have a kid that's going to one of these schools. I'd be berserk as a parent. I would not know what to do with myself. Boy, oh boy. And this is 2 days in a row of this. 2 days in a row of this. So what is it going to take for the FBI to actually show interest? Will it be an actual bomb going off, someone dying? The person trying to play games actually doing something? Bomb threats, man. They that is a fundamentally horrible thing to do. But the fact that they're targeting these black colleges and universities tells me that the person they're looking for is probably somebody right under their nose. How do I figure that? How many of you folks knew about any of those black colleges or universities before I said them? Right. That's someone that knows. That's someone that's in the know. Hope they catch them because that is a scary, potentially quite dangerous situation. And I pray that that doesn't happen to anybody, no matter where they go to school at in this country. That though is really, that is crazy. That is crazy. In what I call good news, a teenager has rejected Elon Musk's $5,000 offer to shut down Jet Tracker. He only offered him $5,000. He's building electric cars. He only offered this dude $5,000. A 19-year-old Florida University student and aviation enthusiast said he rejected a $5,000 offer from Elon Musk to shut down at Elon Jet, a Twitter bot he designed that tracks the comings and goings of the Tesla and SpaceX CEO's private jet. In an interview Monday, Jack Sweeney, a University of Central Florida freshman, reported that Musk blocked him after he declined the buyout offer, but not before the two had a month and a half long dialogue. Musk did not immediately respond to a request for comment made through Tesla. He first reached out to Sweeney on November 30th, according to screenshots of Twitter messages received by NBC News, and Musk asked him for details about how the bot worked, remarked that air traffic control is primitive, and said, quote, "I don't love the idea of being shot by a nutcase," close quote. Sweeney later asked Musk to up his $5,000 offer to $50,000 about the cost of a Tesla Model 3, which Musk considered for over a month before Sweeney said he would also consider removing the account for an internship. Then, sometime after January 23rd, Musk blocked him. Sweeney said he has been interested in aviation and, quote, everything Elon Musk and Tesla, close quote, for years before Musk reached out to him. Quote, he just ends up messaging me one night at like 1 a.m., close quote, Sweeney said, adding that Musk first said the bot was a security risk, but proved no evidence. Sweeney said he believed Musk a little bit about the security risk, but he felt that because he has a security team, any concern was, quote, just worry, close quote. Sweeney noted that private planes have built-in technology that enables them to be tracked, but acknowledged that there should be changes to how the whole system works, which probably isn't possible. Quote, it would be like making a change to everybody's phone that they're using every day, Sweeney said. Close quote, it's not, quote again, I'm sorry, it's not like you could just easily change the system, close quote. Sweeney said he told Musk about another aviation tracking blocking program, which Sweeney said Musk used last week. Here it is. This is the one. Quote, he might have thought that would have worked and he could just like ignore me, close quote. Sweeney said of the blocker, quote, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, close quote. Sweeney also runs jet trackers for billionaires Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and former President Donald Trump. Sweeney said he has no plans to take down at Elon Jet. As of Monday, the most recent flight tracked said the jet landed near Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville, Texas on Sunday evening. He only offered that man $5,000. Sir, son, you're Elon Musk. You're not Mario Smith. You're Elon Musk.
I don't blame him. What kind of crap is that? Like, you're gonna offer me $5,000,
bro?
Like, if you're that interested, come on now. Like,
sir, you only have $5,000. That's $50,000. Give me a car. Give me a Tesla. I'm taking it down.
Right, and this kid's clearly not stupid. You really think he's just gonna be happy and take $5,000? Come on.
Do you think? Not only is he not stupid, but do you think that he's stupid enough to let Elon Musk punk him for $5,000?
Right,
because that's essentially what he's doing.
And I mean, you just said it too. The this guy's obviously, been an admirer and studied Elon Musk. Like, he knows what's up. He's not gonna just, get out of his hair and get, like you said, get punked by Elon Musk.
$5,000. Hey, everybody on the back channel chat. Look, I have a question for you. How much money would you ask for from Elon Musk if you were asked by Elon Musk to shut down his site, his Twitter? Watch what happens, Liz. It's going to be a lot more than $5,000. You can reach us through your Amazon supported device. You can also chat on YouTube. We will see them and we will read them. My money amount, think about that for a second. A cost of a Model 3 Tesla, not even like the good one. I want whatever he's driving. In fact, Elon, give me your car. You can make 6 more cars. You're Tony Stark. Make a car. How dare you? This dude. $5,000. Come on, man. They offer people more than that to get their email address right or their website address. $5,000. Yeah, make a mental note, everybody in our chat. Elon Musk, if you got something of his, you're only going to get $5,000 for it. That's terrible. Wow. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep going on, but that's bone chilling bad. He only offered that poor kid $5,000. And then he blocked him. So he can't talk to him anymore. I'd go whole hog on Flight Tracker, whatever it is he's got at Elon Musk, at Elon Jet, or whatever. A nationwide lockdown. Federal prisons remain locked down from coast to coast after a deadly fight in Texas. A nationwide lockdown of the federal prison system remained in effect Tuesday after 2 inmates were killed Monday during a gang fight at a penitentiary in Texas, officials said. Multiple inmates were involved in an altercation at U.S. Penitentiary Beaumont in Texas about 11:30 a.m., according to the Bureau of Prisons. 4 were taken to the hospital, the AT said. 2 of them, identified as Guillermo Riojas, 54, and Andrew Pineda, 34, were pronounced dead by hospital staff. According to a senior law enforcement official, the lockdown went into effect at all of the nation's 122 federal prisons out of fears that the violence could spread to other prisons. A text alert went out to Bureau staff saying the lockdown was initiated out of an abundance of caution due to current events that occurred at another facility. This order is to ensure the safety and security of all staff and inmates. The Bureau secured facilities as a temporary measure to ensure the good order of our institutions, spokesman Emery Nelson said in an email, adding that the measure was expected to be short-lived. For safety and security reasons, the BOP does not elaborate on specific security procedures, Nelson said. During a nationwide lockdown, there is almost no movement allowed whatsoever by inmates. It tends to strain the Bureau workforce because staff have to bring inmates their food and handle other issues that the inmates would normally be able to do on their own depending on each facility's level of security. Nationwide lockdowns almost never happen. During the last several years, the measure has been used more often. It was used when the federal prison system was hit hard by COVID-19 in 2020, after the Capitol riot in 2021, and weeks before President Biden's inauguration. Riojas was sentenced in a Fresno, California I'm going to rewrite Gliss. I got my new gig. Should this fail, I'm going to be a proofreader for everybody. Everybody is just. I wish you could see this.
The source here. Let me check this out.
It's NBC News, and it's this writing in this paragraph. It says Riojas was sentenced in a Fresno, California for carjacking. In a Fresno, California, what bar? Was he in a Fresno, California A&P? Where was he?
I mean, they could have an intern doing that, I guess. I don't know.
They might have that kid that Elon Musk won't give the money to. Maybe that's why he needs a stupid car. What the? Hey, come on. I can't remember which gravity, but Riojas was sentenced in a Fresno, California for carjacking. Do you see that? Okay. Using a gun during crimes of violence and interference with interstate commerce, the Bureau said. He was serving a 38-year sentence and had been at Beaumont since 2013. Pineda was sentenced in Los Angeles for corruption under the RICO statute as part of a major federal strike aimed at the Mexican mafia prison gang in the late 2010s. Pineda was serving a 6-year sentence and had been at the facility for just under a year, the Bureau said. Amid the possibility of further violence, Nelson said the Bureau was being vigilant. The BOP will continue to monitor events carefully and will adjust its operations accordingly as the situation evolves, he said. Beaumont is a high security facility that houses 1,372 inmates. And that is really heavy that they locked down the whole prison system. I've never heard of that before. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, well, be careful out there, people. And wait a minute, what are they suspecting has happened that would cause other? It would have to be, I guess, gang related stuff, or I don't know. Seems like that would be the thing that you would be worried about. The whole deal of folks being upset and wanting to start a prison riot. By the way, Gliss, I've got some answers, or one answer at least, to our how much would it take? My man Gary T said $10 million and he's out of here. That might be right.
He's on the right track.
That's what I'm saying. $10 million might make me be like, you know what, man, I'll take it down. It's not a problem. Can I still get one of them cars though, bro?
We'll see.
Can I get that young car and $10 million? It's not like Elon Musk is broke. Come on, Elon Musk. Here's a story that's happening in Chicago that our beloved and super righteous mayor, wait till I tell you more about our mayor, spoke at last night. A suspect has been arrested after several Chicago synagogues have been vandalized. I'll get it. A suspect has been arrested after anti-Semitic vandalism appeared at Chicago synagogues, businesses, and a school, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said on Monday. Police reported vandalism at a pair of synagogues Sunday, one in the city's West Rogers Park community and one in suburban Lincolnwood, according to NBC Chicago. Lightfoot said the vandalism included, quote, symbols of hate and anti-Semitism, close quote. Quoting the mayor, these crimes are undoubtedly a part of the troubling rise in anti-Semitism that we've seen both in our city and across the country, Lightfoot said. She said detectives were continuing to investigate. Synagogues across the country have been on heightened alert since an hours-long standoff with hostages January 15th at a synagogue in Colleyville, Texas, about 30 miles northwest of Dallas. A man later identified as a British citizen was demanding the release of Afia Siddiqui, a citizen of Pakistan, convicted of attempting to kill U.S. officers in Afghanistan. The suspect was killed by at least one FBI shooter as 3 hostages, including a rabbi, escaped unharmed. Another hostage had been released earlier. Quoting the mayor again, as Chicagoans and as Americans, it is our responsibility to call hate speech and acts out and protect our... Okay. It is our responsibility. I swear I'm doing a proofreading. It is our responsibility to call hate speech and acts out and protect our Jewish brothers and sisters who endure this hatred year after year, Lightfoot said. The Jewish Council on Urban Affairs in Chicago condemned the vandalism and said solidarity against anti-Semitism is the best way forward. Quote, as Jews, whether we're walking down the streets of our neighborhoods or through the doors of our synagogues, freedom and safety for any of us depends on the freedom and safety of all of us, close quote, the group said in an emailed statement. Full disclosure, I am literally maybe 4 blocks away from a synagogue, which is right across the street from Barack Obama's house when he's in Chicago. And they've received threats as well. Here in Hyde Park, it's a big Jewish population. And there is a big concern, although it's not really spoken of, there's a concern that something might happen in one of our local synagogues here in the neighborhood. There's a school right across the train tracks from me. One day I'll take you guys on a tour. There's a school across the train tracks from me, not too far from the train tracks, where little kids are. And Akiba Schechter is the name of the school. And that's a troubling thing, that somebody might try to do something to some little kids, or a synagogue that's full of people worshiping. It's not a good look. Not a good look. But I'm glad that the city did finally arrest somebody, because the other part of that story that has nothing to do with synagogues is Chicago is really good for not arresting people, being mad when people get freed, and not really being on the case. I'm sorry. This is. Oh, did we change the name of the segment yet for the community report that we're doing? It's officially what are you doing? Because that could have been on what are you doing? Investment scammers on social media ran off, and this is another. What are you doing? Investment scammers on social media ran off with $285 million in 2021. What? No. The Federal Trade Commission said fraud artists used social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Telegram to scam about $770 million from people in the U.S. last year, a stunning 18-fold increase over 2017 that has ballooned to account for about a quarter of all fraud losses nationwide. And the FTC said a recent surge in online investing was a particularly lucrative target for scammers, accounting for 37%, or about $285 million of all social media related fraud losses. The scams involve not only standard investments like stocks, bonds, and cryptocurrency, but also art, precious metals, and stones, investment advice, stock options, and more. The FTC said 64% of those targeted on social media in such scams paid their attackers in cryptocurrency. The FTC pointed to a May report that outlined how crypto scams had risen to be the most common type of investment fraud experienced by people younger than 50, whose median loss was $1,900. Typical investors ages 50 and up were less likely to be victims of crypto scams, but when they were, their median loss was $3,250. Let me tell you something. Hi, Mario Smith. Let me tell you something. What ain't gonna never happen? Okay? Let me get my seat adjusted here. All right. What's never gonna happen? Crypto scam, online scam. No, ma'am, no scam. I'm making shirts that say no, ma'am, no scam. There's no way. Come on, son. You know what I do for a living? I need every penny. I don't have time to get scammed online. And I'm trying to dabble into the cryptocurrency world, Gliss. You just can't pop up like, hey, I'm your cousin from Ghana. Give me $60 million in cryptocurrency and we'll be good. I got to get my people out of jail. Shut up. You don't. Have you ever been a victim of a scam?
No, not that I can think of.
That's what I'm saying. Because you know what you are, sir? You're smart.
I try.
I'm hitting my glasses, but my brain is underneath these. You're smart.
Hey, just a side note for future reference. We haven't renamed the segment yet, but I do have this at my disposal anytime you need it. So,
word. That's you. Perfect. What are we doing? Oh my God! What are we doing? What are we doing? That is like the perfect. I'm telling you, man. In Chicago, bro. What are we doing? That is real. That is like. And people say it, don't even know they say it. I've discovered in the past year or two that I've been saying all the Chicago sayings and not knowing that they were a thing. I just thought that that's what everybody in the world said. Apparently, only here do people go, what are we doing? And what are you doing?
I like it.
And we put the S on everything too. Air Jordans. We have a grocery store here named Jules or the Jules. Italian beefs. Don't ask, hey man, I don't know why we do it.
Don't get me started on weird names, because man, there's some stuff in Portland that looks like it should be pronounced one way and is actually pronounced in a very inappropriate way. So there's lots of streets like that.
I think I know what you're talking about. There was some other stuff that I wanted to get to. We're running against it in terms of time, but if you can, folks, direct yourself toward Axios. There's a story. Just put in the search bar global warming metric, and it shows just how severe global warming is getting. It's getting bad, man. And it may not happen right away, but it's bound to happen. We're doing so badly as a race of people, the human race. We're doing bad. We got to get better at protecting this earth. It's the only earth we got. You don't get two earths, from what I heard. You get one earth. Nobody's come back and said, hey, second earth is great. You should come to second earth. Not a person. Real quick, Ray, Javon, Milo, hi Milo, Rebecca, Andrea, James, hey off, Charles, Deborah, Verona, Bella, Cole, J Lo, everybody. Thank you so much for participating and being a passenger willingly on the drive with Mario Smith. We'll be back with our community report, aka What Are We Doing? In just a bit. You're watching The Drive with Mario Smith on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and you're listening to us on your Amazon supported devices. And thank you. We'll be right back. Hey. How are you? Great. Fantastic. Good to see you. It's The Drive with Mario Smith. I am him. Today is a winter storm, good Lord Almighty, happening all across the U.S. And we need you to be careful wherever you are. If you're in the Chicago area, I can proudly report that snowfall will start around 8 p.m. in the city proper. It is raining. It is going to get cold. It will be snowy. It will be quite dangerous and messy. Please be careful wherever you are in the United States if you're affected by this storm. And 82 million people are affected by it. Be careful. It is about to go down. Here's a story from Florida. Again, I probably didn't have to tell you that. You'd have probably figured it out just by what happened. Fishermen across Florida reeled in a lot more than they were looking for this past week. A man and his 11-year-old grandson pulled two 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifles out of a canal near Miami over the weekend. And last Monday, police said a fisherman unexpectedly hooked a human body in a central Florida lake. Dwayne Smith told the Miami Herald he saw a YouTube video on magnet fishing and decided to give it a try on Sunday. They dropped a 5-pound magnet in the C-102 canal in southern Miami-Dade County. Quote, we ended up with 2 pounds of scrap metal and 40 pounds of guns, close quote, Smith told the newspaper. The guns were not loaded and they didn't find any ammunition. The Barretts had so much mass, Smith, 61, said. The magnet went straight to them. Smith told the newspaper he was concerned because the serial numbers on the lower receivers of the weapons and the bolt of one of the rifles were filed off. Quote, whoever did this is not your run-of-the-mill criminal, close quote, said Smith, a former Army infantry officer. He called Miami-Dade police and 2 officers came out to pick up the guns. Detective Christopher Thomas told the Herald it will likely take the department a while to determine if the weapons were used in a crime. Judging by the photo, those have been there for a while. That said, it will take some time for the weapons to end up at our forensics lab. Once there, they will be processed, he said. Smith said he isn't convinced the guns were in the water very long. He says they were wrapped in plastic and he wiped away most of the corrosion in 30 minutes. Quote, it looked like it was something that someone would want to come back for it, close quote, he said. The strange discovery comes just days after police said 2 men in Central Florida were out fishing when one of them unexpectedly hooked a body and began to reel it in. Authorities said the fishermen were casting their lines from the grassy banks near downtown Auburndale when one of them hooked something that felt heavy. One of the 2 fishermen called his father, who rushed over and confirmed it was a human body. The group dialed 911. Police responded to the scene and discovered the 40-year-old dead man had lived in the area and had recently returned to the region. It appeared he was probably in the water for 1 to 2 days, according to law enforcement. Quote, there were no obvious signs of trauma, though this is a medical examiner case, close quote, the Auburndale Police Department wrote in an update. An autopsy is pending. What are we doing? What are we doing? We just throwing bodies into the water? What are we doing? Guns and body? You think the gun and that body were related? What are we doing? Oh my God, what are we doing? Thank you, Gliss. What are we doing? Wow. Here we go, boy. I'm telling you, man. Jury questioning to begin in case over botched police raid that killed Breonna Taylor. Questioning of potential jurors begins Tuesday for the trial of a former Kentucky police officer involved in a botched raid that killed Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old Louisville emergency medical technician. Brett Hankinson is standing trial on 3 counts of wanton endangerment for allegedly firing wildly into Taylor's neighbor's apartments in March 2020. Taylor, a black woman, was shot multiple times during the raid. No drugs were found, and the warrant was later found to be flawed. No officers were charged for their role in causing Taylor's death, despite protests nationwide and many demonstrators demanding that the officers involved stand trial for murder. That set the outcome apart from 2 other cases that put race relations in the national spotlight in 2020, with the killing of black people at the hands of white people, the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis in the custody of a police officer, and the Georgia shooting of Ahmaud Arbery. We were talking about that earlier. The 25-year-old black man was shot to death while being chased by 3 white men while jogging through a neighborhood. The 3 white men who pursued Arbery were convicted of murder in November and given life prison sentences in early January. Last year, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder and manslaughter in state court in the videotaped killing of Floyd. In the Taylor case, Kentucky Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron determined that the officers fired into the woman's apartment in self-defense after her boyfriend, who was in the apartment with her, shot at them first. Cameron, who is black, did not give a grand jury considering the case the option of charging those officers in connection with Taylor's death, though he acknowledged that her death was heartbreaking. What are we doing? That's how it's going to go down. We are just really out here willy-nilly. Just like, yo, you know what? We'll just charge them with wanton endangerment. That's far more easier to prosecute than murder. Breonna Taylor didn't have a gun. She didn't have a weapon. She didn't have drugs. She didn't have nothing. Oh boy. Wordle, the latest internet game sensation, which I love, is headed to the New York Times. The New York Times purchased Wordle, the popular online puzzle that has become the latest gaming addiction, the company announced on Monday. The newspaper company, famous for its own crossword puzzles, known to stump even those with the most in-depth lexicon, said it was, quote, thrilled to announce, close quote, the purchase in a news release. It brought Wordle for an undisclosed low 7 figures, the New York Times reported. That's why that kid should have got way more, a bigger offer than $5,000. But that only 7 figures? Wordle was about to be the you-know-what. Josh Wardle, a Brooklyn-based software engineer who launched the game in October, said the response to its creation has been, quote, incredible, close quote. On the flip side, I'd be lying if I said this hasn't been a little overwhelming, Wordle tweeted following news of the sale. Quote, after all, I am just one person, and it is important to me that Wordle grows. It continues to provide a great experience to everyone, close quote. The game has become so popular that people have attempted to replicate its success by making copycat app versions of the game. However, Apple, in January, quickly removed Wordle, the app, and other clones of the game from its app store. It is unclear how many apps were removed and when. Twitter also recently took down a Wordle spoiler bot that ruined the game for other people by automatically replying to their tweets with the next day's answer. Wordle said he long admired the Times' approach to games and that the game will remain free for users following the sale. And this is really a what are we doing? Look, you know what makes Wordle great? They don't want to know who I am. They don't want to copy my information. They don't need to know any of my data. They just want me to play the game, be happy, and go on with my life. It doesn't take an hour to play. I can't go back if I make a mistake. It's great. I'm not saying it's bad that the New York Times bought it, but I'm just saying, can't we just have something? Can we have something, anything that is not purchased or bought by somebody for a little while? Wordle's been like a week old.
It's not going to happen anymore.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, man?
Everything eventually that has any success, some big company is going to swoop in and make it their own. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I know. But Wordle, man. Wordle. No more Wordle. Well, I'm going to play Wordle. No Wordle. Uh-oh. What up, Kobe? Kobe's here. And there's another unusual name, Open. Open has joined the stream. Open. Hello, Open. Alex and Luke and Amanda. Melissa has joined the stream as well. Brendan, Ray, Brendan, not Brandon. Brendan, Ray, and everybody else. Hey. But again, what are we doing? Wordle? We just want to mess with Wordle? Come on, can I enjoy something? Why is everybody poo-pooing on my parade, man? Okay, here, this isn't a what are we doing? This is actually a pretty cool story. The sole survivor of a capsized boat describes his ordeal. His mom calls him my miracle. Marcia Geraldo was finally able to hug her son, Juan Esteban. Thank you, God. Thank you, Geraldo said through tears. Juan Esteban Montoya Caicedo, 22, who's from Colombia, was traveling with his sister, Maria Camila Montoya Caicedo. This sounds like Princess Bride when he's I'm not laughing at that. You didn't hear that. That's not what I was doing. From the Bahamas to reunite with their mother in the U.S. The boat that they were on capsized on January 22nd. Of the 40 people on board, according to authorities, only Montoya survived. He spent 3 days adrift on the high seas without food, drink, or a life jacket before being rescued by the Miami Coast Guard, found sitting on the boat's overturned hull. He saw how the others were dying around him until he was left alone, his lawyer, Naime Salem, said. Quote, he did everything possible to encourage his sister. He called her over and over until she disappeared, just like so many other people disappeared before his eyes. That's why he's so traumatized. He doesn't understand how he was the only survivor. Wow. Oh, it was very exciting to see my mother again after so long, Montoya Saedo said in an interview with Noticias Telemundo. It was something that I wanted for a long time and something that my sister also wanted, and unfortunately, she could not be there. He was physically injured by blows from the boat and the force of the waves. The most enduring marks, however, are to his memory because he said 15 people survived the capsizing with him, including his sister, but he saw them later drown, dragged by the waves. That is so sad. We got time for one more, I think. Let's make this a good one. Yep, I got it. Thank you. Gliss, this is your contribution to our fine program. And this is a really good one. And I'm glad that the word Heine has been used. And this guy was mad. He was really upset. Can you show? Oh, you can't show this picture. Never mind. You can show it if you want to, Gliss. I'm not telling you can't. I'm not telling you can't.
I can get it in there.
Yeah, put it on up there real quick. Governor Jim Justice, you should know already, has a message for singer and actress Bette Midler, who called West Virginians, quote, poor, illiterate, and strung out, close quote, in a tweet after Senator Joe Manchin refused to support President Joe Biden's Build Back Better Act. The 70-year-old Republican governor ended his televised State of the State address Thursday by lifting up his English bulldog and flashing its rear end to the camera and crowd.
It's all fired up. Hold on a second.
He's so proud. Quote, baby dog tells Bette Midler and all those out there, kiss her hiney, close quote, Justice said, grinning as people applauded and some gave him a standing ovation. Justice had spent more than an hour touting the state's accomplishments, including 2 recently announced economic development projects. Quote, absolutely too many people doubted us, close quote. He said, quote, they never believed in West Virginia. They told every bad joke in the world about us, close quote. The crowd in the House of Delegates gallery included lawmakers, state Supreme Court justices, agency heads, and members of the high school girls basketball team justice coaches who were sitting in the gallery. Midler shot back in a tweet with a ranking of says that I'm not looking. Is it up? It's up, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my God, that is gross. Midler shot back in a tweet with a ranking of states from an unnamed source showing West Virginia near the bottom in healthcare, education, and the economy. Said Midler, the dog's Heine would make a better governor, though she used a stronger word than that. Not everyone was amused by justice. In a tweet, West Virginia Democratic delegate Sean Flaherty called the governor's move, quote, embarrassing and beneath the office, close quote. Quote, the West Virginia governor brought his baby dog and pony show to the state of the state and pulled this stunt as some bold statement. It was nothing short of embarrassing and beneath the office, he said. Jim Justice habitually lowers the bar of our state. They don't laugh with us, but at us, close quote. Manchin, a Democrat, effectively tanked his party's signature $2 trillion domestic policy initiative that would have poured billions of dollars into child care, health care, and other services. What hashtag Joe Manchin, who represents a population smaller than Brooklyn, has done to the rest of America who wants to move forward, not backward, like his state is horrible, Midler tweeted. Quote, he sold us out. He wants us all to be just like his state, West Virginia. Poor, illiterate, and strung out, close quote. After receiving backlash, Midler apologized, quote, to the good people of WVA, close quote, for her, quote, outburst, close quote, in follow-up tweet later that day. A is missing from that. It did say in follow-up tweet. The Associated Press sent an email to Midler's publicist Friday requesting comment. Look at that dog's Heine. Look at that. Look at that dog's Heine.
That seems a little, I don't know, theatrical.
I think if you close in on his face, though, forget about the dog. Look at him. He looks really upset. He's like, look at this. Look at this here. Look at this Heine. Hey, Bette Midler, look at this Heine. I'm Governor Jim Justice. That is sick. Come on, Gov. Ugh, dude. Boy, I tell you, the more you know, and the thing is right on my rundown page, the dog's Heine. That's gonna mess with me for a while. Kobe said that is crazy. That it is. Open said no. Kobe said he likes my hat too. Thank you. What am I wearing? Bulls hat.
Chicago Bulls, yeah.
Yeah, man. And I'm sporting my White Sox jersey today.
Well, I like that one.
Yes. Doesn't look like baseball is going to happen right away. No spring training, I think. I think spring training is done. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I think it's done. And that's it for What Are We Doing? / the community report. What are we doing? Wait, you know what? This dog's Heine. What are we doing? Why are we putting the dog's Heine in the face of Bette Midler? He told her to kiss his dog's Heine, held his poor dog upside down to expose said Heine, and the AP caught it. Pow, right there. And look at the lady is laughing at him. God, that's hard. Boy, that's hardcore there. She's ooh-wee. Okay, y'all. When we come back, we're going to have a look at the headlines at the top of the hour, reintroduce ourselves to everybody, and prepare for our entertainment report. You're watching Backchannel.tv, The Drive with Mario Smith, and you're also checking us out on Backchannel.tv, YouTube, and on your Amazon supported devices. The top of the hour is next. Be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Drive with Mario Smith. I'm the Drive.
You are the driver.
I'm the driver, but I'm not the driver. Yeah, that was all right? Well, if we have a blooper reel, which I hope we don't, I'm sure that'll be on it. Welcome back to the Drive with Mario Smith. I am Mario Smith. This is Backchannel.tv. You're checking us out on YouTube, on your Amazon supported. Gary said, "Hi, Drive. Hi." On your Amazon supported devices. And we appreciate everybody being here. Oh, Kobe said, "I'm stupid." That's good. Deborah joined the stream. Hey, Deborah. Hello to the other Deborah, who's in California. Verona, Bella, Milo, Kobe. Stop, man. Jennifer Lopez Cole, Open, who's in Africa. Okay, what part of Africa are you in, Open? I want to know. Where are you from? Where is that? And not where Africa is, but where is it that you're from? I'm doing so well in the second hour of our show. Moore is in California and is a new user joiner, passenger. Welcome. And Andrew's in Florida. Bella in Northern Virginia. Everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Drive. Appreciate you. At this hour, there's a major winter storm heading toward the most of the country. 82 million people are under a winter weather alert. Just for full disclosure, here in Chicago, snow is expected to start falling. Actually, they changed the forecast from overnight to around 7 or 8 o'clock this evening. Upwards to 7 to 11 inches of snow are expected in the Chicago area, with more further south of the city. NBC News is also reporting that an active shooter situation at a Virginia college has been solved, if you will, as the shooter has been apprehended. So many words. And CBS News and everybody and their mother is reporting that Tom Brady finally has decided that he's finally going to quit for real this time. No more games. He's not joking. Tom Brady retires after 22 seasons in the NFL. Took him long enough. That dude has been playing football way too long, breaking way too many hearts. Since I changed my name to Drive, Drive had his cord messed up. Since I changed my name to Drive, let me real quick just play around with folks again. Hey, Chuck. Chuck has joined the stream. How you doing? Doing good today. A lot of good folks here. Nice. And you all keep coming back. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We can't do this without you. None of us at Backchannel can. And with that in mind, make sure you check out everybody on Backchannel. We begin at 6 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And we are really happy that you are here on this drive with us. Thank you, passengers. When we come back, we'll have entertainment news. This is The Drive on Backchannel.tv. We'll be right back. Hi, I bet you wonder what this is. Mango juice. It's mango.
I just have coffee.
Coffee. I had a cup of coffee this morning, and I was doing a robot all day.
It makes you feel that good?
Yeah, it was great. I was doing a robot, man. Could not stop moving around. Anish has joined the stream. Peace. Welcome. Thank you. Truly appreciate you. And everybody's calling me Drive now. That was really good on your part.
Never living that down.
No. Why should I? Okay, you guys, it's time for some entertainment news. Have no fear. The camera's here. Welcome back. In entertainment news, starting off with a sad story from out of Los Angeles. The Walking Dead, one of the stars of Walking Dead, Moses Mosley, dead at the age of 31. An actor known for his role on the hit show The Walking Dead has died at the age of 31. Moses J. Mosley, a representative for Mosley who played one of Michonne's zombies on the AMC series, confirmed his death on NBC News on Monday. They said an investigation into his death was underway. Moses was so loved by so many, he always had a smile and the most positive attitude, the representative said. We are extremely saddened about the loss of Moses. He was a beautiful person with a heart of gold and an extremely talented actor. Anyone who knew Moses was truly blessed to have him in their lives, they said. AMC also released a statement on Twitter responding to news of Mosley's death, writing, "Our thoughts and prayers are with our hashtag TWD family member, Moses J. Mosley." In addition to his work on The Walking Dead, Mosley had also appeared on Watchmen, Queen of the South, and he also appeared in films such as Joyful Noise, The Internship, and Attack of the Southern Fried Zombies. Tributes for the actor poured in on social media, with former castmates from The Walking Dead remembering him as a kind and caring friend. Heartbroken to hear the passing of Moses Mosley, Jeremy Palco, who played Andy on the series, said on Twitter, "Just an absolute kind and wonderful human being," he said, sharing a photo with Mosley. "You will be missed, my friend." Moses J. Mosley dead at the age of 31. In other news, and just as sad, former Miss USA Chesley Christ is dead at 30. Her body was found in a Manhattan neighborhood, and this is a terrible story. A woman whose body was found on a New York City street early Sunday was identified by police as lawyer Chesley Christ, 30, a former Miss USA who also worked as a correspondent on Extra. New York police said the body, which was found on West 42nd Street, appeared to have fallen from an elevated position and that Chris's death was most likely the result of suicide. Her family said in a statement, "In devastation and great sorrow, we share the passing of our beloved Chesley. Her great light was one that inspired others around the world with her beauty and strength." I'm saying her last name wrong, and I apologize. Christ competed, no, Christ. It is Christ. Competed as Miss North Carolina USA when she won the Miss USA title in 2019. She was a top 10 finisher in the subsequent Miss Universe competition. Although her fame came from her pageant achievements, she was also a lawyer who worked for a firm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Christ was born on April 28, 1991, in Jackson, Michigan, and went to high school in South Carolina before graduating cum laude from the University of South Carolina. She earned a law degree and a master's of business administration from Wake Forest University. Christ told the North Carolina Bar Association's blog in 2019 that she was inspired to enter pageant competition by her mother, April Simpkins, who was Miss North Carolina in 2002. "I remember watching her win and going to appearances with her during her reign," Christ said. Her title provided her with a platform to advocate for issues that were important to her, and people listened. At her time at the Charlotte offices of the law firm Poynter Spurl LLP appeared to be fruitful, as it elevated her to the position of diversity advisor in 2020 after her pageant sabbatical in 2019. She was 30 years old. Equally as sad. If you have anybody watched the Janet Jackson special on Lifetime? Are you watching that? Janet Jackson.
I haven't seen it yet.
Woo-hoo-hoo. It is good. She's a little powerhouse. She is. She's, man. That woman is like, look. She's like James Brown. Do it my way or get out. She's tough. I like it. She apparently
sounds a lot like her brother.
Yeah, well, Michael did not play that.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
no secret why they've been so successful then.
Michael Jackson was not having it. You miss a dance step, you think he didn't see you, you're fired. Get out. Get out of here. I don't want you here anymore. You understand? I'm from Gary, Indiana. You know what I'll do to you. I'll rough you up. Pancake. If people forget they're from Gary. Come on now. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with Gary, Indiana. Just put it this way. Don't do it. You respect anyone from GI. Just they are all good people. Don't try it though, because you'll find out. Janet Jackson said she and Justin Timberlake are, quote, very good friends, close quote, despite the infamous wardrobe malfunction that sparked controversy after their 2004 Super Bowl halftime show. During the 2004 performance, Timberlake accidentally exposed Janet Jackson's to about 140 million viewers while the two sang Rock Your Body. Following the incident, Jackson's discography was pulled from broadcast while Timberlake's career continued to skyrocket despite his role in the infamous incident. The 55-year-old singer set the record straight during her highly anticipated two-night Lifetime and A&E documentary, Janet Jackson, which was released over the weekend. That's how you have to say her name, too, when it's together like that. Janet Jackson. This whole thing was blown way out of proportion, Jackson said. And of course it was an accident that should not have happened, but everyone is looking for someone to blame, and that's got to stop. She continued, Justin and I are very good friends, and we will always be very good friends. We spoke just a few days ago. He and I have moved on, and it's time for everyone else to do the same. Yeah, but Randy Jackson also revealed she told Timberlake that he shouldn't speak out. We talked once, and he said, I don't know if I should come out and make a statement. She told her brother, and I said, listen, I don't want any drama for you. They're aiming all of this at me. So I said, if I were you, I wouldn't say anything. Among the backlash following the incident, Jackson was intensely, extremely exhausted, just murdered in the media. Her music was banned from many radio stations, and an invite to the Grammy Awards that year was rescinded. A representative for Timberlake did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on Monday. Timberlake's treatment toward Jackson and ex-girlfriend Britney Spears has come under scrutiny in the last year after the release of the New York Times documentary Framing Britney Spears, which focused on Spears' career and her fight to remove her father's conservatorship over her estate. So this could qualify as a what are we doing, but it won't. I still wonder how his career took off and hers kind of stalled. I mean, I know why, but I'm just saying I don't get it.
I think it's a fair question. I do believe that Justin Timberlake is extremely talented compared to the other guys he broke away from. I think
no
it's pretty
doubt
clear that he was like,
no doubt.
Yeah, talented guy. But yes, it's when you look at this situation, despite the fact that his career trajectory seemed to be on the up, it is kind of curious why it didn't affect his career as much as it affected her career, and it seems
shut her down.
It seems like she was more the scapegoat for this particular incident.
But that also is just how we. Okay, let me be very careful. Be very, very careful. America, particularly let me make sure before I'm just going through it in my head to make sure I don't, get us kicked off.
You're good. You can give your opinion.
I think. Thank you. I think America has a problem with women, and I think the blame, if there was going to be blame at all, should have been put on whoever was there with that delay button, because they have one. They didn't bother to push it, so everybody saw it. They pushed that button. The only people who see it are the people in that truck running the show.
Yeah.
Nobody would have saw it. I think that there was a more nefarious thing afoot involving her. I don't think he did it to ruin her career at all. But at the same time, he didn't really do much after the fact to be like, hey, look, that wasn't her fault. That was my fault.
Yeah.
Or it was a great stunt that backfired.
Yeah. And I was kind of hoping that's where you were going with that, because that's the same thought I was having. And I would hope that that was what, like 2002, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
It was, about 20. Yeah. I would hope that today, the conversation would maybe be a little bit different. I don't know that it would, but I do think that there is an element of he was a guy, and what happened on stage, he in the eyes of society somehow got a pass on what happened, regardless of if it was his fault or her fault.
Right.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I mean, it's the producer, whoever was producing that halftime show, and they're for an event like that Super Bowl halftime show, there has to be a whole team of producers.
Mm-hmm.
Several people slipped up, and they are the ones that should have came out and came to the defense of Janet Jackson.
Exactly.
And the whole situation as a whole, because they're the ones that are responsible for what goes out on air.
I bet you there'll be a delay on next weekend because it's Snoop, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. You think they won't have a delay?
Yeah, I've been wondering about it. I've been wondering, like, I mean, I've heard all of them do clean versions of stuff, but it will be interesting. I'm sure there's going to be a couple, S-bombs and, a couple of things like that that'll make it on air.
The thing about Dr. Dre and what made NWA great is that they were able to get radio play because they made clean versions of everything. Mm-hmm. So I am sure that he has already been like, look, we were pre-recording all this stuff anyway. Yeah. We're making clean versions of everything. Everything is going to be edited and clean. We don't need them to press anything, but they'll still be ready for that. But they didn't bother to do that for her. And that says more about them than it does about her to me. Have you seen Encanto?
I have.
I've heard of it, never seen it.
I've seen every Disney movie ever made 500 times.
That's right, you have. My kid, who is now a grown man, knows The Lion King by heart, and I do too, because I had to watch it every day.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes as a parent. But yeah, Encanto is a fantastic movie.
I hear it's brilliant.
Movie. Yeah. And Lin-Manuel did the soundtrack. He also worked on Moana, which is another great Disney movie from a few years back. And it's a very, very good movie.
So moving forward, I'll never ask if you've seen a Disney movie, because for the next
you can just assume
the next 7 years at least.
It's the same thing with Marvel and Star Wars, because I have the younger kids and then I have the teenage set. So pretty much all that stuff's like right in our wheelhouse.
That's not bad. See, one of these days you're gonna have to bring the boys in. Let's all get a good look. Don't do that. Don't expose them to anything. Milo, however, the dog. The dog can be seen. Leave your kids out of it, because I don't want anybody, bothering my boys' kids. The animated Disney musical Encanto debuted in late December and tells the story of the magical and dysfunctional Madrigal family who live in a mystical house in the mountains of Colombia. It features colorful visuals and lavish musical numbers from the powerful mind of Lin-Manuel Miranda. They make him sound like a supervillain. And it's brought us some of 2022's earliest earworms. Specifically, We Don't Talk About Bruno. The song comes in under just 4 minutes, features an ensemble cast, and is getting more popular by the day. It reached the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart on Monday, 5 weeks after it debuted at number 50. It's only the second song from a Disney animated film to reach those heights, following Aladdin's A Whole New World in 1993. Wow, that was 93?
I know, that's a long time ago.
Oh, man, every day. It's every day, Gliss.
It's those little reminders that always get you. Like
me in particular, the clock keeps ticking on me.
Yeah.
I used to be young, Gliss. I used to be out here just fighting crime in these streets like a young man. Cool. It's also the first Top 100 number one for Walt Disney Records, which other chart-topping songs include High School Musical's Breaking Free and Frozen's Let It Go. The song picked up steam over time with its growing popularity, even surprising its creator. Quote, "I'm surprised it's Bruno," Miranda told People last. "It must be really nice to be that creative where a surprise can be number one."
It's like, that little song? Oh.
I absolutely love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he's a brilliant artist. But that right there, if I ever met him, I'd go, "Were you really surprised? Do you write surprises? Can you write me a surprise that I could sing?"
Yeah, he's that guy. He's a one of a kind. I don't know if you've ever seen. PBS did a documentary when he was making Hamilton.
Yeah,
and it's so fascinating to watch, especially if you've seen the show or listened to the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Just like, I mean, there's 47 tracks. It's just like nonstop music.
Yeah,
and when they started the documentary, he'd only written like the first 2 songs. They didn't even know the direction where they were going. And then like within a couple months, he just busted out all this music and they put together this, pop culture, juggernaut.
He is the man.
Yeah, no, he's pretty fantastic.
He says, I feel like this is my Send in the Clowns, which was the late Stephen Sondheim's biggest hit and probably the most random of an incredible career and life making music, but I'll take it. Plus, according to a recent tweet from Miranda, the song's titular character almost went by a different name. But Encanto's other musical numbers are nothing to sneeze at. In fact, the entire soundtrack just spent its third week at the top of the Billboard 200 albums chart. Get out there and check it out, everybody. That's our entertainment report for today. When we come back, we play ball and we talk about Tom Brady because everybody talks about Tom Brady, and Tom Brady finally has called it quits. We'll be back in a minute with Play Ball here on The Drive with Mario Smith. You're watching Backchannel.tv. Hey everybody, what's up? I can't repeat what Kobe said, but do you see this? That's not a Disney song, my friend. It's Let It Go. Yes. And Milo says, "Hi, Dad." No. I'm not. I'm sorry, Milo. I didn't mean. Never mind. Does your dog have access to a computer? Because Milo just said, "Hi, Dad."
The dog does not, but my one of my children is home. They wouldn't let him into school because he has a broken kneecap.
Oh my goodness!
And
who did he tackle?
Yeah, he was jumping on the trampoline over the weekend, and like father, like son, he decided he has to start at a young age destroying his knees. So he did something, hyperextended it, and finally we took him in yesterday, and he has a tension fracture in his kneecap and is now on crutches, and school is like, no. Until he gets into a cast or something, like, we can't have him. He would require too much assistance, basically, to get around school. So
he can't be more special than the rest of the kids? Is that what they're saying? How dare them?
Yeah.
So he's watching.
Apparently. I mean...
because he wasn't talking to me. I am not his dad. He said, "Hi, Dad." Oh, and that's who's been watching the whole time. He's watched the whole show. What's your son's name?
Jack.
What's up, Jack? How you doing?
He must be watching in there with the dogs. So
must be.
I'm glad he's keeping an eye on us.
Must be. I thought you know what? That's the song that's playing.
Oh, yeah, I hear that too.
I'm like, what is that? I thought it was my phone. Like, what? I got everything up on this phone. Everybody's now saying, "What's up to Jack?" What's up, Jack? How you doing, buddy? I hope your knee feels better, man. Take care of yourself. So originally, we were going to talk about how Tom Brady yesterday was like, "I'm not retiring. Everybody calm down. I now know what I know." But we now know Tom Brady, after a glorious 22-year career, which included a courtroom sketch that made him look like Frankenstein, has finally retired. Has finally retired from the NFL. He played with the New England Patriots and most recently with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 7 Super Bowls, 10 appearances. The most yards, the most everything that a quarterback could have. He's 44 years old, and he is considered the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. And here's why ESPN didn't back down, Gliss. I don't know if you heard this. He has a show on ESPN Plus called Man of the Arena, right?
Yeah.
Well, the other day at the recording, at the end, he retires. He says his goodbye. Somebody working on the show heard it, and immediately went to the ESPN folks like, yo, Tom Brady just announced his retirement. It's going to be at the end of the show. So at the end of the next edition of Man in the Arena, he formally announces his retirement. They're still trying to figure out why he got ahead of it so quickly instead of letting it play out tomorrow night. I guess it's tonight or tomorrow night. But yeah, that's why ESPN, when they were like, are you guys going to stick with your statement? And Adam Schefter was on TV this weekend like, oh yeah, he's retiring. There's no doubt he's gone. I got to say, man, it was hard to like him in New England. Just because, you know, I just don't like the Patriots.
I'm right there with you.
For all the cheating and everything else they did. But Tom Brady, man, for him to be like the 193rd pick or some craziness like that, and not much of a career to talk about in Michigan when he was in college. But for him to be great. I mean, he's Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, great.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It's stunning that
if you think about the fact that the most Super Bowls won by any franchise is tied Pittsburgh.
He's won more Super Bowls than
any franchise. In one of them, he was the quarterback for all 6 of them.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, as a 49ers fan, you know, everybody always talked about Joe Montana, but I mean, I think several years ago, there's no argument to be had anymore. The guy just won. And then to go at 43, 44 and, you know, completely start over, clean slate, you know, without Bill Belichick and just go win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable.
Kind of won that Super Bowl either. They dominated in that game.
It's pretty crazy.
It's stunning to me. There's some breaking news in sports as well. You don't have to put up the sounder for it, but fired Miami's Dolphins coach Brian Flores sued the NFL and 3 of its teams Tuesday, saying racist hiring practices by the league have left it racially segregated and managed like a plantation.
Oh boy. Ooh. That's strong language right there.
Oh boy, I bet there's more coming. That is breaking news in the world of sports. Wow, man, it's gonna cause some people to be a little hiney hurt. You need to have that picture of that dog available at all times moving forward.
I have this picture real quick if you want it.
Let me see.
Tom Brady.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at Frankenstein. He looks like Lurch from from the Addams Family.
Yeah, hate to do Tom like that, but I mean, his life is perfect. He can handle it.
He'll be fine. You better know he got over it. He was catching a Super Bowl trophy on a boat. One of the last things he said in his Instagram post was, I hope you guys invite me back to the boat parade, because they had this real big boat parade in Tampa.
Yeah.
Did not mention the Patriots at all in his statement.
Probably.
I thought that was amazing.
I'm sure there's a little bit of bad blood there.
But you got to imagine at some point he's going to be like, listen to he won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots. How bad of the blood can it be? He's almost 45 years old.
I'm sure once he takes a step back, he'll probably speak fondly of his time there. I mean, he spent most of his career there. Yeah. I'm still a little irked by the fact that he wanted to go to San Francisco and they decided like, let's keep going with Jimmy for a couple more years. Like, man,
you know what?
Let's get 2 more Super Bowls before this guy calls it a career.
Do you know one of the other teams that was in play?
Let me guess. Your Chicago Bears.
The Chicago Bleeding Bears.
Yeah.
Any chance of an on-time start to spring training has all but vanished today during a contentious 90-minute negotiating session between locked-out players and Major League Baseball. Players did make 2 slight moves during the first meeting in a week. The union lowered its proposed pool of money for pre-arbitration eligible players from $105 million to $100 million. The union also cut the number of players it wants credited with an additional year of Major League service to the top 20 at each position in each league by wins above replacement, or the top 7, depending on position, down from 30 and 10. The session on non-economic issues is set for Wednesday, and there is no date for the resumption of talks on the core matters such as luxury tax thresholds. Given the lack of urgency in talks to end a work stoppage that began December 2nd, both sides are behaving as if it's a foregone conclusion that spring training workouts will not start as scheduled on February 16th. Players don't start accruing salaries until the regular season, scheduled to start on March 31st, making it unlikely there will be a great movement until mid to late February at the earliest. Here's the thing: the owners who have locked out the players don't really need spring training. They get their money when the season starts, and they get the bulk of their money when the playoffs start. So them not having spring training, no big deal. We talked about this before. There not being any cold weather games in Chicago or New York or anywhere where there's an outdoor stadium in the upper part of America, not a problem. Because it's going to be cold in April anyway, cold in May for the most part. The owners legit can keep this locked out until they are ready to say, we're ready to come back. This isn't the players striking, it's the owners locking them out. As a fan, of course, I'm with the players. I think the owners don't realize the opportunity they have, and they're doing what they always do, which is ignore whatever the people who are making sure that they buy jerseys and go to these games and buy $12 beers and and $15 hamburgers that go to these games. It's just like, whatever. We know we're going to make the money. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're not going to have spring training. I think they will. I think they get this resolved in about a week or two, but someone's going to have to intervene and say, listen, owners, come on, because the players will hold out. They won't play. They don't care. Not that they don't care, but they care enough to not play. They are fine with sitting out for a half a season, making this another dumb season of like 70 games or something, which it probably should be less than 162 games.
Probably. It is very long.
That's
do you think that out of the major sports leagues in the United States, is MLB probably, would you agree that it's probably the poorest run?
Ooh.
Or is it hockey?
It might be.
I know you don't like Gary Bettman very much.
No, Chocula. I'm not a big fan of Count Chocula. I think MLB is the most misguided with the worst commissioner. It used to be Gary Bettman, but it's definitely Manfred or Manford or. It's just a hunk of metal. The World Series trophy is just a hunk of metal. I'll never forget that. I don't even play Major League Baseball, and I was like, "Whoa, word, a hunk of metal." I think Major League Baseball does itself a disservice by tying the commissioner and the owners together. That commissioner should be right in the middle, not picked by the owners, not picked by the players, but straight in the middle. Everybody should be able to decide on who's going to be the commissioner of the league. He's the worst, and he's going to make, and this is all him. This is all him. It's not any owner in particular. It's him. And I think if it falls down, it'll fall down on him. They should be getting ready to, pitchers and catchers should be reporting.
I just feel like it's the one sport where they just can't seem to get out of their own way on certain things. It's like they miss a lot of opportunities. I mean, we've talked about the NBA seems to always be at the forefront of social issues and just like they kind of get it as a league, like just out in front of things. Mm-hmm. Football, they definitely have some really bad looks at times, but I think it's because it's the NFL, they somewhat get a free pass. But baseball, I mean, if you look at the popularity versus the NFL and the NBA and just how it's changed in the last 20, 30 years, it seems like they more than any other league should be trying to do the right thing, to really create some energy behind the sport, because it seems like it's been lacking, and that they, when anytime they have an opportunity like this, they seem to kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
This is some breaking news that doesn't have anything to do with sports, but again, don't worry about putting up the sounder because I just saw it. Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois has issued a disaster declaration for Illinois as Winter Storm Landon nears. That's the name of the storm that's on its way. The storm is expected to dump more than 10 inches of snow on parts of Chicago over the next 2 days, with the south side getting hit worse. That's where I am. Other parts of Illinois could get 18 inches, Pritzker warned during a Tuesday news conference. The city will also see potentially dangerous cold over the next few days. Temperatures will fall to the 20s and stay there Wednesday through the weekend. Just so you know, the 20s for me, not cold. If the wind, however, is blowing, and then it will be very cold. I don't know if we talked about it, and again, I'll get back to sports in a second. We celebrated an anniversary a couple of days ago here in Chicago. The coldest day on record, minus 26 degrees.
Whew.
The wind chill, I was like minus 45. That's the day that Jussie Smollett decided to go to Subway in the middle of the night and was attacked by imaginary people, and they poured imaginary bleach on him and put an imaginary noose around his imaginary neck. It was minus 26 degrees when he went outside.
Yeah, what was he doing?
Well, I'll tell you when we talk after the show. I got an idea. I got an idea what he was looking for. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. The Olympics, the Omicron Mariana Olympics are about to happen, and per prediction from everybody and their moms, virus infections for Olympic athletes and coaches are rising faster. In fact, the U.S. athlete was well, it's in the story. I'll tell you. Athletes and team officials are testing positive for COVID-19 at much higher rates than other people arriving in China for the Beijing Olympics. And then I have a question for you, Bliss, too, about this. Figures released by local organizers showed 11 positive tests for COVID-19 among 379 athletes and officials arriving Monday. They have been taken into isolation hotels to limit the spread of the infection and could miss their events. The positive test rate of 2.9% for athletes and officials compared to 0.66% for Olympic stakeholders, a group which includes workers and media, in the same period. There were 1,059 people in that category. Over a 3-day period from Saturday through Monday, the positivity rate for athletes and officials was 40% higher than other Olympic arrivals. The rates were confirmed in PCR and other follow-up tests for tens of thousands of people at the Beijing Olympics who will live, work, and train in closed-off communities separated from the general public. The Chinese government is pursuing a zero-tolerance public health strategy. My question for you, do you think, and I thought about this morning, and it could just be my meatball sports mind, but do you think that the Chinese might be making these Americans fail these tests so that they can't compete in these games?
Ooh, that's very diabolical.
I have a diabolical mind occasionally.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, we've seen like Russia is in, like every year in the Olympics is doing all kinds of shady, what. So I wouldn't put it past another country that, especially a country that's involved in hosting.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Beck has joined the stream. I only hope it's the singer Beck. We got J-Lo, we got Beck. Man, we are winning. But I thought about it. I'm like, if they really wanted to have impact on this Olympics, I mean, the USA, I don't see the USA winning in like maybe the biathlon. But they got the Jamaican bobsled team there. China might be like, yo, no, we don't want any of that. We want to win everything. Everyone is sick, even if they aren't. Happy Olympics. We won.
It's nuts. I wouldn't say it's like, I wouldn't say that's like too conspiracy theory-ish. I think that's not too much of a stretch to have that thought.
Trust and believe. If you're looking for a conspiracy theory, I'm your man. I got you. NBA time. Oh, it's getting good in the NBA. All that stuff with Carmelo aside the other night when they're kicking people out. Watched a good game actually watched a real good college game last night too. Man, it's about to go down in college. It's really getting good. But the NBA power rankings. The Sixers last night played without Joel Embiid, by the way, and somehow some way beat the Memphis Grizzlies, who are an up and coming team. They are like a player or two away. They could put around Ja Morant like a real good, two good players. That dude is amazing. He is physically amazing. The stuff that he does on the court. Um, So All-Star Weekend is the big celebration for the NBA in the middle of every season, and it's the time to start validating performances from the NBA. It's also something people love to argue about: who's a lock for the All-Star game, who should be considered, who got robbed, which K-pop star will give you the best chance to become a starter. All of these conversations get ramped up as the All-Star starters have been announced, and we await the selections for the All-Star reserve by the coaches in the league. This is from The Athletic. Let's take a look at the All-Star locks and etc. So the contenders, the Phoenix Suns, are number one. I like the Suns a lot. Good team. Chris Paul is the man. He also, like Tom Brady, has played forever. Um, hard to believe he's never been the MVP.
He's a great player, though.
Yeah, man.
He's Hall of Fame player, no question.
I agree. The number 2 team is the Golden State Warriors. They've won their last 3 games. Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is an all-star. He started the season saying, "I'm not getting vaccinated." Got vaccinated. Now he's an all-star. So he can blame the vaccination for giving him super strength. Number 3, the Miami Heat. They won over the Knicks, the Clippers this week, and they lost to the Raps. Jimmy Butler is going to make it, but he hasn't played like 20 games this season because of injury. Bam Adebayo, who just came back, might be the other person that gets called on the team. The hated Milwaukee Bucks and that punk that better not be on an all-star team. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I like, is a all-star starter for the 6th straight time. He's a reigning all-star MVP, currently averaging 28, 11, and 5 while leading the Bucks to one of the best records in the East. That one is right. Chris Middleton might make that team. The Memphis Grizzlies, number 5. Ja Morant should be and is an all-star starter, period. Number 6, the Sixers. Also don't like. Joel Embiid is a bully, but I like him. They're whatever for Sixers. The number 7, Chicago Bulls. So we know DeMar DeRozan is gone. Zach LaVine is probably going to be a lock to participate in the All-Star game. And for the weekend participants of the All-Star game, don't think that LaVine's going to be involved in the dunk contest this year because of injuries and stuff like that. But the 2 best dunk contests I've ever seen for real: Michael Jordan versus Dominique Wilkins, and Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon. Period.
I told you I was at the Vince Carter one, but that one was like a lock. Like he was just like, he blew everybody else out of the water. And
nobody was beating him. Nobody. I don't think anybody expected that Aaron Gordon. I don't think anybody expected Zach LaVine to show up like he did against Aaron Gordon.
That was a great dunk contest for sure.
Crazy. As a person that can't dunk anymore, like I was out here dunking on people. As a person that can't really dunk, that was good, man. That was good. Did I mention that the Nets were 8th? Who cares? The Cleveland Cavaliers, or whatever you like to call them, the Cadavers, are number 9. And the 10th team is the Denver Nuggets. We'll see. Interesting. NBA. It's a bunch of games tonight, I do believe. I think I mentioned to you, I interviewed Jason Goff, the host of the Bulls pre and post game show for a podcast, and really good interview. I'll make sure that everybody has access to it as we get closer to it. And everybody is saying, "What's up, Jack?" I see you. I know you see it. My man Gary said, "Get better, get well soon" to Jack. Now Jack is famous. Didn't even show his face on camera, and he's famous already.
He didn't get to go to school, but he got to be a passenger on the drive. So
there you go.
Out for him.
It's all right. Got to get him a T-shirt that we don't have.
That's right.
Got to get him some of our merch that we don't have yet. we need some merch.
Yeah, we need it. We definitely need a. What are we doing? What are we doing? Sure.
What are we doing? Well, I mean, for real.
That's got to be on the list. We're gonna have to start making a list of all the all the merch. We gotta
right.
get going.
That's right. We're going to come back with front of mind and then give you some interesting facts for the rest of your evening as you sit around your dinner table or around your tray or around your cafeteria, wherever you're at in the dorm. We've got some stuff for you. Two pretty cool stories. We'll be back in a minute as we wrap up the drive here on Backchannel.tv. Be right back. Welcome back to the drive. I'm Mario Smith as we get ready to say good night. Not quite yet. We've still got some time. But we thank you all for being passengers on the drive. We appreciate you watching. I'll go through the names again real quick. Deborah in California, Verona in New Hampshire, Bella in Northern Virginia, Milo, Jack in Oregon, Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo in New York, Cole in South Carolina, Andrea in Florida, Kobe, Rotai in Alabama, Gary here in Illinois, Michelle, Beck, love your music, Chris and Tina and everybody that's participating today on the drive. We thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for being here. And you being here is not lost upon us. We really, really are glad that you're checking us out. And we hope that you like what you're hearing and seeing. We like to call this front of mind so that you can have some cool stories to take away with you after we've talked about all the weirdness of the world. A giant pristine coral reef has been discovered off Tahiti. Marine explorers have found a pristine 2-mile coral reef. If it was 32 miles, that would be something. A 2-mile coral reef at the depths 100 feet off the coast of Tahiti, French Polynesia. It is one of the largest discovered at that depth, says the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, which led the mission. Dr. Julian Barbary from UNESCO said there were probably many more of these ecosystems we just don't know about. He said we should be working to map them and to protect them. UNESCO Director Audrey Azoulay said the remarkable discovery extended our knowledge of what lies beneath. The reef was found in November during a diving expedition to a depth known as the ocean's twilight zone, part of a global seabed mapping mission called the Seabed 2030 Project. French underwater photographer Alexis Rosenfeld said it had been magical to witness giant, beautiful rose corals stretching as far as the eye can see. It was like a work of art, he added. Coral reefs are among the ocean's most threatened ecosystems, vulnerable to pollution, rising sea temperatures, and the change in chemistry caused by carbon dioxide emissions dissolving in the water. Professor Murray Roberts, a leading marine scientist from the University of Edinburgh, said the discovery brought home how much we still have to learn about the ocean. He said, we still associate corals with the shallowest tropical seas, but here we find a huge, previously unknown coral reef system. As shallow waters warm faster than the deeper waters, we may find these deeper reef systems are refuges. Boy, I'm having trouble, for corals in the future. We need to get out there to map these special places, understand their ecological role, and make sure we protect them for the future. I just made the screen bigger so now I can see the words. There is currently no evidence this reef had been damaged by those pressures, and Dr. Barbary said its unusual depth was one reason it remained in such a very good state. Generally, we find them at shallower depths, he told BBC News, because the algae that lives with them, the bodies of corals, needs light, and these pictures and video are stunning. But here we're in a part of the ocean that is further from land, so there is less sediment that ends up in the ocean here. The discovery provided an important insight into ocean biodiversity, Dr. Barbary said. We know that about 25% of marine species can be found in coral reefs, he said. the next stage is to find what species live around this type of reef. The coming months will see further investigation. Another of the specialist divers, Dr. Letitia Hidoum from France's National Center of Scientific Research, said, "We would expect a reef such as this to take around 25 years to grow and develop like this. We think that deeper reefs may be better protected from global warming. So the discovery of this reef in such a pristine condition is good news and can inspire future conversation." It's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Maybe that means there could be an underwater presence if global warming isn't affecting us underwater. I'm not a scientist. That's just very interesting. And then here's another really cool story. Singer Blake Shelton, who by all accounts is a pretty nice guy, sang a show recently, and that's always something. Blake Shelton gave one very deserving little boy the experience of a lifetime when he invited him on stage during his concert Saturday in Durant, Oklahoma. 6-year-old Wyatt McKee was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a condition where the left side of his heart does not grow. He has already undergone 2 open heart surgeries and currently awaiting a donor for a heart transplant. After a Good Samaritan heard about his condition and his love for country singer Blake Shelton, Wyatt was gifted tickets to Shelton's show, which he happily attended with his mom on January 29th. Toting a handmade sign that read, "Your smallest, biggest fan from Lake Texoma, 6-year-old waiting on a heart transplant," Wyatt and his mom, Harley, enjoyed their night at concert. When Shelton noticed the sign during his set, he invited Wyatt on stage so he could get a better look at what the sign said. After reading the sign aloud, Shelton addresses the audience saying, "Think y'all are having a bad day? Put that into perspective right there, man." Wyatt's favorite song by the Grammy winner is "God's Country," and his sign requested that Shelton allow him to sing the chart topper with him. Shelton was, of course, happy to oblige. Kneeling beside the young boy, Shelton sang the opening verses of the song, flipping the microphone over to Wyatt for every mention of God's country. In a video posted by Wyatt's mom, Harley, on Facebook, you can see Wyatt building confidence with each line before he launches into a full-on duet with Shelton for the song's chorus. At the end of his debut performance, Shelton's newest collaborator received thunderous applause from the crowd and even scored a hug from his favorite singer. Harley shared the sweet experience on Facebook, writing, "I don't know if Blake Shelton will ever see this, but I just wanted to let him know he is awesome and officially my favorite person. He absolutely made Wyatt's day. Thank you so much to him and everyone who stopped us to tell him how great he was on stage and told him they are praying for him. Definitely a night to remember. Hashtag Wyatt Strong." And that's awesome. My man got to sing with Blake Shelton. That's pretty cool. That's pretty doggone cool. We have like a minute left, but we'll stretch it to 2. Pauly Shore's birthday is today. Michael C. Hall's birthday from Dexter is today. Rap singer Big Boy from Outkast. Listen to some Outkast this afternoon. His birthday is today. He's 47. MMA fighter Ronda Rousey is 35. High drive. In music history, in 1964, "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles hits #1 on the U.S. Top 40 and stayed there for 7 weeks. ROCK in the USA by John Cougar Mellencamp. He doesn't call himself that anymore, just Mellencamp, I think, or John Mellencamp. Enters the U.S. Top 40s chart. And in 2004, Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Kid Rock, and Justin Timberlake performed during the halftime show at Super Bowl, 38? 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. Where Jackson does her now infamous, what happened? She didn't do it. Come on. Roughly half of U.S. viewers who signed up for Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Apple TV Plus within 3 days of the release of Hamilton, Wonder Woman 1984, and Greyhound unsubscribed within 6 months. Hey, did you know that Post-it notes were invented accidentally? Oh, I'd love to hear more about that. 25% of Americans would rather go to jail for a day instead of having their car totaled. What? What are we doing? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't want your car totaled. You wouldn't want to go to jail. People think jail is like Andy Griffith. It's not. This ain't Mayberry. Jail is jail.
At least if you get your car totaled, you usually get a check for that.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you want to go to jail? The average man learns how to use a washing machine at the age of 24. That's not true at all. Half of the people polled admit they can't remember their prom song from high school.
I don't know mine.
I honestly want to say it was "Don't You Forget About Me," but I don't think that's correct.
Ooh, that's a good one. If that's
Yeah, but I don't think that was it. There are around 320 million tons of people in the world right now. I'm carrying a ton on my stomach too. Yeah, that's a lot of tons. When trying to find something that's lost, about 30% of us give up after a week. The average person had 6 passwords in 2014. Today they have around 20. No, not true. 1 in 3 women say love handles are sexy on a guy. Well, guess what, ladies? Hello. your ship has come in the form of Mario Smith. Hey, McKinley, how you doing? He says he's excited to be here. Thank you for coming. Everybody that's joined us today on the drive, we truly appreciate it. Gliss, thanks, man.
Awesome. See you.
Right on. I'll catch you in a few, actually. Everybody, wherever you are, if you're in the path of this winter storm, please be careful. Please, please, please be careful. Do whatever you got to do now before it gets bad. If it's already snowing in your area, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves. We will be back tomorrow, 4 Eastern, I almost said 3, for more of The Drive as the sun sets in Chicago, Illinois. My name is Mario Smith. Thank you so much for checking us out on Backchannel.tv. Backchannel.tv will be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern. On behalf of everyone at Backchannel.tv, have a wonderful, wonderful night.